Good morning. My name is Doug Beck. I am an 8th grade science teacher here in the Lee County School District. We'll be talking today about research for interventions with the case study of Garrett, who is our student that we'll be looking at today. Here's some of Garrett's personal information, who is our student that we are doing our case study on. He's a 13-year-old male, 8th grade student from Lexington Middle School here in Fort Myers. He lives with his biological mother, her name is Karen, and his 17-year-old sister Susan, who attends Fort Myers High School. His father is deceased. Garrett loves to be in the outdoors. He particularly likes swimming, camping, and hiking. His favorite subject is science, which kind of makes me happy. His favorite food is chicken and rice. He says he likes a lot of things, but that's what he tends to lean towards. And his favorite color is red, and he says the reason it's red is because his mom's favorite flower is a rose. Garrett currently reads on a 5th grade level. His vocabulary seems to be his strength. He understands words better than he can pronounce them. He gets frustrated when reading, and he tends to shut down. He doesn't read with a lot of expression when he does read. He struggles with comprehension when he reads to himself, but when he is read to, he seems to understand things very well. He communicates well, although he does not like to initiate answers in class. Garrett's assessment data for this year is as follows. His EROS score is a 33, meaning he is at the 68th percentile, which is he reads equal or above 68% of the other students that actually participated in that particular survey. His academic raw score shows him in the 32nd percentile. His phonics awareness shows that he's very strong in rhyming, and he can identify beginning and ending sounds, but he seems to struggle with the middle sounds. His primary spelling inventory shows he scored 11 out of 26, which is showing also that he's having difficulty with short vowels, digraphs, blends, and common long vowels that you would see with middle sounding words. His fluency rate is about 58 words per minute, and he substitutes sit for sat and rat for rug. An 8th grader normally is reading somewhere in the neighborhood of 151 words per minute, so he's kind of struggling in that also. His comprehension listening is 13 out of 25, and independently he's 18 out of 25. And his vocabulary assessment within text is 4 out of 10. The component of reading that I'm going to be focusing on is vocabulary. The reason is, working within my class, which is science, students must gain a mastery of the academic vocabulary presented in my lessons in order to understand the specific material being discussed. In order to be successful with mastering the subject matter that I'm teaching, Garrett must understand the vocabulary first. Now, Garrett shows a liking of science, therefore he may be interested in the vocabulary that is being presented when I work with him. Why is vocabulary so important? Well, vocabulary is the best single indicator of intellectual ability and an accurate predictor of success in schools. We think in words, therefore to improve thinking, we need to teach vocabulary. Why focus on vocabulary? Vocabulary knowledge is important to reading because the oral and written use of words promotes comprehension and communication. Vocabulary allows for knowledge of words that students will encounter in print. Individuals with better vocabulary knowledge tend to show advanced reading comprehension relative to their peers with less well-developed vocabulary knowledge. And a strong vocabulary is vital to comprehension, and it enhances fluency. How do we learn vocabulary? Well, there's a lot of different ways doing the research. One way is provide direct instruction of vocabulary words for a specific text. Repetition and multiple exposure to vocabulary items are important. Vocabulary learning is effective when it entails active engagement that goes beyond definitional knowledge. And computer technology can be used effectively to help teach vocabulary. Now, after doing all this research, I came up with a plan of action for Garrett that I hope that is going to be successful for him. To start with, Garrett's going to be assigned a list of vocabulary words each week, probably between 5 and 10. The words will be pronounced individually for Garrett for pronunciation. So I will say the word to him, and then he'll repeat it back to me to make sure that he understands the pronunciation of the word properly. Garrett will find and write the specific definition via textbook and or the glossary of our workbook, and he'll write that down. Garrett will use the vocabulary words properly in a sentence. So he'll put the word into a sentence and that is properly used. Garrett will then restructure the original definition of the word to one of his own that is similar meaning. So put it in his own words. Garrett will use either matching cards or mixed media to match definitions with correct words for practice. And then we will assess Garrett on a weekly basis to determine what his retention rate is. What are our achievement goals for Garrett? Well, currently Garrett has a score of 4 out of 10 in vocabulary. The goal will be to raise this current score to 6 out of 10, and as Garrett attains this goal, it'll be raised until he can score 10 out of 10. Testing will occur on a weekly basis, either through paper or online testing software for easy tracking. We will add words from previous weeks back in to the test so that we can see what type of retention Garrett is actually having. Garrett will supplement his textbook with books that are slightly higher than his current reading level, and he'll be expected to read those books. Now, by doing this, I hope that we'll be able to match these goals and make Garrett very successful into the future. I appreciate you listening to my presentation and hope you have a good day.